All right, welcome back, everyone. Talk 122 with your superintendent, Dr. Terrell Yarbrough. This is going to be an interesting one. What usually happens with the podcast, if you've been watching, is most of the questions, if not all of them, are totally off the top of my head, right? And it develops as we get talking. And you said something interesting off air that I'm going to try right now and see if you can do it. So let's do rock, paper, scissors real quick. Listen.
See? I said, yep.
I had no idea what she was going to pick first, but the question was, which one was she going to pick first? And so I kind of guessed right a little bit on that one. So appreciate you playing along with that. And so can you, for the audience who don't know you, can you both say your name and then what you do, here for our Harlem kids?
Yeah. So I'm Kaela Wolfe. I am the Nutrition Services Director through the YMCA Rock River Valley. And we serve the kids in the Kids Time program and the after school meals. So we make snacks and dinners that are available for them.
Awesome. Thank you. And then?
My name is Katie Saeger, and I am the coordinator of our nutrition program.
Okay.
I manage the kitchen and keep everything flowing.
Awesome. So the title of this podcast is nutrition, right? And so what I want to talk about first, or at least get your opinion on, is when you're developing like your menus and things like that for kids, like what goes into that process?
The first thing off of my brain usually is something appetizing.
Okay.
Obviously, kids are very picky. I'm a picky eater myself. And something that they want to try or something that they might not have access to at home.
Okay.
So we include stuff like kiwi or cantaloupe or a turkey wrap, something that gets them to think outside the box and want to try something new.
Okay.
So we have several different options like that.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. And so this ages of the kids.
Well, we do also serve daycare, but in our after school program, I think they go about 5, 6, and they can go up to about 12.
Okay, so I can see some picky eaters in that.
They want chicken nuggets, mac and cheese,
and pizza.
Pizza.
Yes.
Okay, and so thank you for sharing that. And so then, if you want to take this one, when you have or you encounter a student who's a really picky eater and I can't, how do you work through that process?
The biggest thing we are able to do is we try to get feedback from the staff that are with the students at during the night in the program. And so we sat down, we've created a menu, and we serve those meals, and then you just kind of do a tally of what sites liked them, what doesn't. If you get the majority vote that doesn't like it, then we sit down and we rethink something that the kids will find more appetizing.
I like that idea. So you're getting feedback and things of that nature. Any opportunities for taste testing, kids testing a new, what could be a possible new menu item, things like that?
Yeah, actually we just had that at one of our sites yesterday. We're throwing in a couple new snack items, and I was like, why don't we order one thing and let's try it. If it works, maybe we'll make that a permanent switch. But we do have the access to give a little and let them try it out first rather than just changing it as a whole right away. Mm-hmm. And that seems to be helping a lot. So that's pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And so with the podcast now, you may have the ability to reach, a lot of parents, even some of the kids who you serve. Anything that you would like to share with them about your program, or just some feedback? Like you said, you guys get feedback. So anything you kind of want to share about your program, how it works, all those good things.
So like I said, they are offered a quote-unquote dinner, so it's 5 components right as they come out of school, so that way if they are hungry, you can pick what you want in it. It comes with chocolate milk usually, a fruit, a vegetable, all sorts of things.
No strawberry?
Sometimes.
Yes.
We do.
Okay.
It's coming up in the
Yeah.
summertime. A lot of times it's hard in the winter.
Gotcha.
They're not the best in the winter.
I was hearing it was hard to get strawberry milk. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Actually, our milk guy just brought us some strawberry
he did
milk.
bring us strawberry.
That's
because
awesome.
we do local stuff around here. We
Okay.
get Prairie Farms.
Okay.
So he'll bring us samples to even try before we can give it to the kids
Okay.
too, which is pretty
I got to talk to our food service department because that's where I got that information
Yep.
from. It was hard to get strawberry.
Yep.
So
Nope.
Yeah.
you get it. Okay.
You can.
I don't think the problem is they haven't made the strawberry in the cartons yet.
Okay.
They make them in the big gallons and like
Okay.
half gallons.
Okay.
So I think if maybe they heard more of an outreach for that strawberry
Yeah.
milk and it was worth putting the time and the money into, it could be something that they'd possibly be willing to do.
I know they had
Gotcha.
strawberry milk when I was in elementary school, so
Mm-hmm.
and I was the one who drank it.
Smooth transition
Yes,
there.
yep.
Elementary school. What elementary school did you attend?
I went to Olson Park.
You went to Olson
Yep,
Park.
all 6
Okay.
years.
Oh, wow. So shout out to Olson Park there.
Yes.
Now, who do you remember the most from Olson Park? When you think of Olson Park, teacher, administrator, who do you remember the most?
Everybody, Miss Shelling Tufte, Miss Moss, and Miss Franklin are probably my 3 go-tos.
Okay.
Pretty much the people that I guess influenced me and wanted to go into teaching and being around kids all the time.
Awesome.
They all 3 are still there, and I see them quite often, so I
Yeah.
appreciate them.
Absolutely. And so for both of you to answer this question, when you think of a kid who may want to follow in your footsteps, right, and do what you do, what advice would you give them?
Follow your dreams. Even though it's hard or scared, go after them. Don't let that stop you. Even though it's scary and it might be hard, it's not impossible.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes you are down a path that is in a total opposite direction and you get offered something such as this program and how wonderful it is that you end up, going a different way, and it's not always a bad thing.
Yes.
It's not always a bad thing.
That's good.
I have found a lot of good in this program. So.
Yeah, taking chances and
Yes.
just, I love it, follow your
Yeah.
dreams regardless of what it is.
Yeah.
All right, so I always say this around this time, let's have some fun a little bit. So you both rocking your Harlem gear. I
We
love
are.
it. I love it. That's awesome. And so you kind of went this direction with your Olson Park memories, but I'm gonna ask, who is your favorite person in the district? When you think of Harlem, anyone, who's your favorite?
I would have to say Coach Lucian.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know him personally very well when I was in high school, but he was the cross-country coach for my youngest daughter, and he's just the way he is with his students and the girls on the cross-country team. He cares, he puts in the time and the effort, and he got to know me as well because I was helping out and the parent rep for cross country for a little while, so
Okay.
I got to know him in a more personable level. And
That's awesome to hear because normally the names I hear is like Mr. Dredge.
Oh, yep.
So, but that's cool.
no, I
Yeah.
think Lucian does a great job.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
I think mine, if I can split it between 2, would be going back to elementary school between Miss Shelling Tufte and Miss Moss.
Okay.
I got the opportunity. I had Miss Moss for 2 years. It was
Okay.
when she transitioned, and I was so excited. And like I said, Miss Shelling Tufte, there's one little image, I guess, or memory. Back then, she read this little book to me, and it was like that specific moment where I said, I want to be a teacher because of you. And it's stuck with me ever since. So I think those 2 are probably my top 2 people.
That is awesome. Thank you both for sharing. So thank you both for your time. Today, like I told you, easy peasy. Not you won't be crying later or anything
No,
like
not at
that. But I really appreciate you both coming on and talking about your experience and working with our kids. And again, being able to have individuals on the podcast who have such a direct influence on our kids. And then 2, to have a background in Harlem really warms my heart. So I appreciate you both.
Thank you for having
Thank you.
us.
Thank
you.
you. We appreciate it.
All right, welcome back, everyone. This is a continuation from our previous 2 guests. And so we started the first segment with rock, paper, scissors. We got to continue it.
Okay.
Right? So you ready?
1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
Okay.
So 1, 2, 3,
3,
shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yeah.
And you got that one. So what I was hearing is that for men, the first response is for the rock. I don't think we did the rock.
No, we did
I
it.
don't think we did that one. But anyway, I guess we're a little different.
We
right?
are a little different.
That's all
Ain't
right.
nothing wrong with that.
So for the audience, can you tell the audience who you are, your name, your role, and then we'll kick it off from there.
Absolutely. Well, first off, Dr. Yarbrough, thank you for having me and Kaela and Katie as well.
I appreciate you guys.
Hey, no doubt about that. And then also give a shout out to thank you for serving on the YMCA board and for your involvement in the community. It means so much to myself, but then also I know that it means a lot to our staff, especially our staff that are serving in the Harlem School District in partnership with you guys. So thank you. My name is Brent Pentenburg. I have the pleasure of leading and supporting and serving the YMCA as a Chief Service Officer, and have been doing so for been with the Y for now 20-something years. Been in this role for 6 or 7 or something like that.
Absolutely. And thank you for that intro. Thank you for all the kind things you said as well. And so, in thinking about nutrition, right, and the services that the Y provides, for our kids and in our schools, can you talk a little bit about your role in that, and then two, just the support that you give, to that.
Yeah.
So,
I think the biggest thing that we as a YMCA community and organization, what leads us to deliver programs and services, and specifically nutritional education and nutrition itself, is the understanding of why and why it's so important. And so we know as a country and as a community, the physical needs and as well as challenges that our young people and families are facing. The access to high quality and nutritious meals and foods, and what that does for young people and families when they don't have access to fresh and nutritious foods. But then also we know that. I should say recently we heard that there is a projected 600% increase in type 2 diabetes for children by 2050. And so when we think about just where our society is headed in terms of the physical health of our young kids, then we have to do something to course correct. We have to do something to go upstream so that we can be a part of the change and be a part of the solution, so that these challenges and issues don't continue to perpetuate.
Awesome. Yeah, it's powerful, and I love the stats to back everything up. That's great. And so, in listening to some feedback, as far as getting a little bit deeper with this conversation with you, right? When you think of the why and your path to where you are, today in this position as CEO. Walk us through that a little bit. Tell us what got Brent to being the CEO of the YMCA.
Well, I never planned on it.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's the biggest thing. I always knew and had a passion for having influence and having change, and change for the positive, for the better. For making sure that people around me or people within my community experience hope and belonging and love,
Okay.
And certainly from a spiritual perspective, and that's where I found myself.
Mm-hmm.
I was and started as a day camp counselor when I was 15 at the YMCA,
Okay.
And have really never left, other than like a small stint as the hotel desk manager for the Comfort Inn in Nashville. It was quite the experience.
Gotcha. I won't ask you about that.
Don't. We'll just stop there.
There.
Definitely things. Yeah, we'll just move on. So, anyways, but throughout that,
You paused though when you said Nashville.
So day camp counselor, and then an intern, and then worked in aquatics, and then worked in spiritual development, worked with teens, and then sports is where I really found myself and passion for the Y, and connecting with kids and families and adults in that way. And then moved more into administrative functions,
Okay.
and that kind of led me there to my path now.
Absolutely, and thank you for that. And so I asked our previous guests the same question. If you would have a young person who watches you, because kids are always watching us, right? I mean, whether we know it or not, when we're working with kids, they're always, because one of my mentors too, he never knew this, indirectly, he had an impact on me, and which made me want to be a basketball coach and a history teacher.
Yeah.
But we never directly talked about it. So if you have a kid who's looking at you, right, what advice would you give him or her as far as taking the same path that you took?
Well, I would think it probably changed depending on the day that you ask me.
Yeah.
But what's speaking to me now is something that I've really never has really never left me. And it's two things. You are who you surround yourself with. I think what is the quote? You're the average of the 5 people that are closest to you.
Okay.
So as a dad, I mean, my kids, they all poop and pee everywhere. So maybe at some point that might not work out in my favor. No, I'm just joking. But they're crazy as ever. But when you really think about that in terms of just your life and your community, like who are you surrounding yourself with, and are you excited about those individuals and about being in community with those individuals, and do they inspire you to grow and to challenge yourself? And then the second thing is as a person that is wanting to grow, and as you essentially craft and think about your dreams and who you want to be as an individual. I think there's 2 kind of key ingredients that someone taught me just to help you to get there, and it was profound humility and unwavering resolve. And so profound humility, like be willing just to try things and make mistakes. Absolutely. Like failure is a good thing. It really is. Like the most meaningful lessons in life are perhaps the times where things don't go your way. And that is a beautiful thing. And then the second one is unwavering resolve, just meaning like determination and just the ability just to devote yourself to that, or to whatever it is that you're pursuing or aspiring to be. And just be willing to get after it, and have fun while you're doing it.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, being vulnerable in that moment and sharing that, because I'm looking at the camera now, I've failed many a times, right? But again, if you get back up and try again, try again, so I appreciate you sharing that. And it's good for kids too to hear that from us, because, I remember talking to a student when I was assistant principal here at the high school many years ago, and that student thinking like, Mr. Yarbrough, what can you offer me? You have a tie and shirt and tie on, right? And for him to only see me like in that image, as opposed to what it took to get here, and I had to just explain to him and break it down like, hey, I've been through it too, right? And I just didn't wake up and put on a shirt and tie. So let's have that conversation and work through it. And so we ended up being okay after that. So it was good. But no. And so now, father, right?
Yep.
So husband.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. And so I'm gonna go here.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna go here.
Watch out.
So when you think of, because I won't ask you the same question I asked our previous guest, because I know who your favorite person in the district would be.
Sitting right next to him. Let's go.
But when you think of your wife and your kids, who's your favorite?
Oh, I mean, come on. I mean, happy wife, happy life.
Okay.
Johnny D. Rayner.
I will say this though. My wife always says, because I have a 25-year-old son. Or a 25-year-old daughter, 24-year-old son. And 11-year-old daughter. Okay. And I tell everyone, my baby, that's my baby, right? And they all know this, right? But my wife always tells me, without her, there's no her.
Hey,
right?
That's the truth. That is the truth.
So now, go ahead and answer
that
question.
That's the truth. Oh, man. I mean, that's a loaded question. I can't even believe this is recorded right now.
Because your family's going to see this.
Oh, man. I mean, so, you gotta choose. I got to choose Johnny. And then that sets the course for the whole family. Well, my wife, Johnny. So Johnny is my wife. So Johnny D. Rayner, now Pentenburg. But so then in our home,
I never knew her name. So
So in our home we have my mother-in-law lives with us, Wanda.
Okay.
And then you got Victor, Vic City. He's graduating this year from Guilford. He's 18. And then you got Tony Bones. He's 9. Dottie Bots.
I like what
7.
you're doing right now. Like you're giving them all shout outs too.
Yeah. Lucy Goose. She's 6. And then Avante just joined our family. He's 1. So and he's the ultimate cuddler.
How you just did that though. You turned it on me.
Oh, I tried to. I mean, that could get me in trouble.
You picked your wife, but you gave everyone a shout out, so they can't be mad. No, I appreciate that. So, final thoughts for the audience.
Yeah.
And it could be around anything we talked about today. But what would you like to say to anyone that would see this podcast?
Man, just stay connected to community. I think what you're doing right now, and what you've done, Dr. Yarbrough, for the district and for McChesney Park, Loves Park, is building a sense of community. Today, more and more often, community is lost on us. When you just think about how we can live in kind of the modern lifestyle, we can live our life not dependent on one another in a way that builds that community. And I think for anyone listening, stay connected and stay grounded and stay in the flow of community. Build relationships, build meaningful relationships with those that you love, with the people that are around you. Notice folks when you're at the grocery store or when you're when you're walking in your classroom, and notice who's sitting alone, and see each other. And I think the top doc Surgeon General in the country said the greatest threat to public health is chronic loneliness and social isolation. Like, we need each other, and everything in this world seems to fight against that. And so let's get back to true community.
I love it. That was powerful. Now I'm looking at our previous guests to see if there's some tears going.
Should we? I think we gotta shed a few out.
That was good. All right. Well, thank you for being on. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. So again, thank you all for tuning in to Talk 122. Nutrition, healthy meals, community, all the things that was talked about today. I think when we're talking about our young people, is very important for their development. And so I hope that you learned something today. And if not, and if you want to reach out and you have questions, I can get those questions answered. So like always, I am Harlem, you are Harlem, we are Harlem. Take care, everybody.